Vermont. More like, hey Vernon, I told you not to go to Vermont. It's a very dangerous place. But you went there anyway, so joke's on you. Do you even know anyone named Vernon? I don't think I do. In all reality, does Vermont even have 10 dangerous places to rank? Not really, but it does have some, and we'll get to those in this video because this video is going to be the 10 most dangerous places in Vermont ranked in order by the violent crime rate. So that being said, let's see what's behind door number 10. Number 10 is Montpelier.
He had great credibility until he said that. Now it's like, where did he come from?
Montpelier? More like middle of nowhere. Seriously, there's like nothing here other than a park and ride in a state capitol building.
Right, because every town just casually has a state capitol building.
Montpelier is in the north-central part of the state. The closest larger city is Burlington, which is about a 40-minute drive or so to the northwest. Well, hey. Here's a fun fact. Montpelier is named after the much larger French city of the same name. It was chosen during a time when France was a major ally for the Americans in the Revolutionary War. Yeah, how about that? Bet you thought I was going to say it's the smallest state capital. Yeah, no. Turns out I'm a little bit better than what you thought, huh?
Ooh, so it's basically Paris, but Vermont?
Nope.
Economically, the city does just fine, especially for a place of just 8,000 or so people. It's probably all of those state government jobs, come to think about it. The median household income is $81,000 per year and the poverty rate is 6.5%, with a youth poverty rate of just 2%. 42% of all households here make over $100,000 per year, so yeah, Montpelier? Not bad.
So, do we have to wait until the next century to see the crime rates, or...
On to the crime rates, they say. Okay, on to the crime rates. The violent crime rate for Montpelier is 327 per 100,000 residents, while the property crime rate is 1,984 per 100,000 residents. So yeah, Montpelier? Dangerous? Not really.
Just further proof that you have no idea what you're talking about.
Those numbers are right around the national average, so there's not really much to be concerned about there. Well, hey, it only goes up from here, and if you've seen my other videos for Maine and New Hampshire, the most dangerous places for those states, Vermont has some real hoods, in comparison to those states, that is. Well, next up is a place that's kind of hard to pronounce, unless it's not. Number 9 is Winooski.
It's pronounced as Winooski, you idiot. Do better research before you make a video.
Winooski is a suburb of Burlington in what is really the only decently populated area of the state. It's also the 9th most dangerous in all of Vermont, when going by the violent crime rate. Winooski grew early on through its textile manufacturing. The mills in the area attracted French, Canadian, and European immigrants looking for jobs. But not no more.
Nope.
These days, the city of 8,000 people is known for its thriving bar scene. Unless it's not. Or maybe it is. I mean, some say it is.
You're just a hater. Go back to your own state and talk crap about it. Leave us alone.
With Winooski being just 1.4 square miles and with it being home to 8,000 people, it makes it one of the more densely populated cities in New England with over 5,500 residents per square mile. Economically, it does alright. The median household income is just shy of $80,000 per year, and the poverty rate is a little bit high at 13.8%, with a youth poverty rate of 17%, so that could be better overall, but it's not the worst.
Gee, you think?
On to the crime rates, they say. Okay, on to the crime rates. The violent crime rate is 347 per 100,000 residents, while the property crime rate is just shy of 2,600 per 100,000 residents. Only the property crime rate is above the national average, but it's not the worst. Just make sure you have like 5 locks for your bicycle, because that way, thieves will think that yours is too much work to steal and they'll just take your neighbor's bike instead.
Neighbor of the year.
Well, next up is a place that's known for things that happened nearly 300 years ago. Man, who cares about what happened 300 years ago? Well, this place does. Number 8 is Bennington.
Is that even a real place?
Sure as hell is. Great weather here too. Don't mind the rain, unless it's not raining here at all actually. It was earlier in the day, but yeah, don't mind the cold weather, no leaves on the trees, that's an exception. It's usually a tropical paradise full of palm trees and sandy beaches, the ocean is just a mile that way. It's great.
Hello? The ocean is nowhere near here. What is he even saying?
Bennington is in the far southwestern part of the state. Known for the Battle of Bennington in 1777 as a part of the Revolutionary War, nearly 300 years ago, these days Bennington is not known for much of anything at all. And unless you're from this state, or maybe you're from some of the surrounding states, you've probably never heard of it before. Since it's more rural and since it isn't surrounded by much, the economy here is pretty lackluster. The median household income is just $54,000 per year, or about $25,000 per year less than that for all of Vermont. The poverty rate is 11.4%, which is kind of misleading because 23% of all youth here live in poverty households, and 48% of all Bennington households see less than $50,000 per year. Not good.
Nice work, Captain Obvious.
On to the crime rates, they say. Okay, on to the crime rates. The violent crime rate is just shy of 400 per 100,000 residents, so it's just slightly higher than that for the nation, and the property crime rate is just shy of 2,500 per 100,000 residents, which, once again, is just slightly higher than that for the nation.
Wow. Better call the National Guard.
In the next place on this list, we're going to go shopping for some new countertops. That's right. We're going to replace the vinyl countertops in the kitchen. Number 7 is Rutland.
Hell yeah, it is.
Rutland? Yeah, that name is fitting. Sounds about right.
What do you mean by that?
Rutland is in the central part of the state, and it's not really close to any other larger city. There's no interstate highway serving it, and US 7 and US 4 are the only main routes to get here. Yet, Rutland is one of the more decently sized cities in the state, which isn't saying much.
Please, tell me you've never lived in Vermont without telling me.
Despite having just 15,800 or so people, Rutland is the 3rd largest city in the state. Only Burlington and South Burlington have more. Early on, Rutland thrived off of the marble industry. That's right, not textile mills like every other place in New England seemingly, but the marble industry. Large marble deposits nearby and railroads encouraged a wave of economic prosperity, helping Rutland grow to be among the largest marble producers in the world. But not no more.
Nope.
Despite the nearby Danby Marble Quarry still operating as the largest underground marble quarry in the world, or at least they say, a lot of the marble quarry activity here has died down quite a bit, just like most places in this country that once relied heavily on any source of mining. These days, the leading industries in Rutland are healthcare, tourism, and there's even a few aerospace jobs.
Yes, science!
But not enough to make a noticeable difference in the strength of the economy.
I'm leaving town. I'm moving to like Oregon or something.
Yeah, you might as well, because the median household income is around $57,500 per year, or about $24,000 per year less than that for all of Vermont. Additionally, the poverty rate is 15.3%, and 44% of all Rutland households make less than $50,000 per year. Man, Rutland. Talk about finances being in a rut.
Wow. Bet it took you all night to come up with that one.
Well, hey, I'm sure many of the homes here have very nice kitchens, though. featuring the finest luxurious marble countertops from marble that came right from their own backyard, right? On to the crime rates, they say. Okay, on to the crime rates. The violent crime rate is 479 per 100,000 residents, which is noticeably higher than that for the previous places on this list, but not quite twice the national rate. Meanwhile, the property crime rate is more of a concern, as it's over twice the national rate at 3,800 per 100,000 residents. Visit for the Vermont Marble Museum in nearby Proctor? Leave because when you got there, you found out that it closed in 2024. And since there's not much else to do in town these days, you just bounce.
Not accurate. There's plenty of things to do in Rutland. I live here, so I would know.
Next up is a place that's different from the rest of the state. Number 6 is Burlington.
Bet you didn't see that one coming.
Not even Peter Santinello could save Burlington from this list. What up, Peter S? Yeah, that's right. This is Peter Santinello's hometown. He said so himself. You know, some people called me a budget version of that guy with my old video format.
Hold up there, buddy. Even that is too much of a compliment for you.
Yeah, maybe so. That's what I say too. Burlington is obviously the only real population center in the state. And oh boy, it's got some real issues.
Gee, you think?
Initially, Burlington was able to grow due to being located along the almighty Lake Champlain, which helped the logging industry thrive due to shipping. In fact, it quickly became the third largest lumber port in the nation. But not no more.
Nope.
These days, it's healthcare and the big bad University of Vermont that leads the economy in Burlington. There's even a small but somewhat thriving tech scene here too, so that's cool. Unlike the rest of New England, Burlington is a young and hip city, or that's what they want you to think. But there is some truth to it. The median age here is 26, whereas the rest of New England has a median age of like anywhere from 40 to 60. Despite the young age, the median household income here is just over $71,000 per year, which is better than some of the other places that we've seen on this list, and will continue to see. The poverty rate, however? Yeah, that has reality crashing back down to earth, as it's at 20.5%.
Bruh.
For the crime rates, the violent crime rate is 490 per 100,000 residents, while the property crime rate is just shy of 4,500 per 100,000 residents. Wait, what? 4,500 per 100,000 residents? Wow. That's nearly 3 times the national rate. Better start investing in some security cameras.
Only a real wuss like you would be paranoid by that.
Well, just like with a lot of places in this country, Burlington is not much different because much of the crime here is drug related. I mean, I just typed a search into Google and saw like 10 stories on drug busts in Burlington over the last 6 months. So what does that say? Well, next up is a town that is so small that there might actually be more black bears in the local area than there are people.
That's gotta be racist.
Oh, did I say people? I meant white people. Yeah, more black bears than there are white people. Yeah. Number 5 is Lyndonville.
Does anybody like you?
Lyndonville is a tiny village within the town of Lyndon, and it's in the far northeastern part of the state. It might as well be Canada, really. Lyndonville is a census-designated place within a town, or what most other states would call a town within a township, or a village within a township, or something like that.
Okay, cool. So can we, get on with the story?
With just over 1,000 people in Lyndonville, there's not much of an economy here. The median household income is just $54,000 and the poverty rate is 16%. And there's not much else to it because all these parts of the economy just revolve around one another. The housing is pretty cheap here too, with the median home value being just $180,000. That's over $100,000 less than that for all of Vermont and for the nation. Crime-wise, the violent crime rate is 491 per 100,000 residents, while the property crime rate is 3,100 per 100,000 residents. And for a small town, those numbers don't look good.
Gee, you think?
From small town to not as small of a town, the next place on our list seems like a big old bustling city. At least for Vermont standards. Number 4 is Newport.
Never heard of it.
Apparently, Google Maps has never heard of Newport either, because according to it, there are 2 Newport, Vermonts. Newport is in the far northern part of the state. In fact, it's just shy of 5 miles south of the Canadian border as the crow flies. Back in the day, immigrants flocked to Newport to work in the lumber industry. With the arrival of the railroad, industry was able to thrive here. But not no more.
Nope.
These days, there's some manufacturing here, but not much. More so, the economy relies on tourism.
Hello? Are you just purposely avoiding mentioning Lake Memphremagog because you don't want to mispronounce it?
The median household income here is shy of $55,000 per year, while the poverty rate is 23%. Even worse is the youth poverty rate at 39%. And the fact that 45% of all households bring in less than $50,000 per year? Yeah, that's not good.
Gee, you think?
At least the housing is on the more affordable end. The median home value is $179,000, so not bad. But it's that cheap for a reason, people, because there's no economy up this way at all, whatsoever. On to the crime rates, they say. Okay, on to the crime rates. The violent crime rate is 626 per 100,000 residents, or just shy of double the national rate, while the property crime rate is 2,100 per 100,000 residents. Visit for Lake Memphremagog, or whatever it's called. Stay because some dude flattened your tires, and you didn't even do anything to deserve it, really. Really, he just mistook your ride for someone else's at the bar that night because he was plastered out of his mind, so he didn't know his left from his right. But you weren't his main target, so you can feel good knowing about that, but the problem is, now you don't know where to find him, and now you're stuck with a bill to replace your tires, and you have to stay at a motel in town until the local tire shop can get your tires in stock, and it takes a while for the trucks to get this far north, you know? So you're gonna be here for a while. Well hey, really quick, as if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to head on down below and hit like and subscribe. It only takes a few seconds of your time, and doing that really helps these videos get pushed through the almighty algorithms of YouTube, so if you could just, do that already, I'd appreciate it. I mean, if you don't, then the next time that you go on a road trip, your tires are going to get flattened in a small town in the middle of nowhere, and you're not going to know what to do. Because karma.
Just do it!
Thanks. Number 3 is Barrie.
Very dangerous.
Barrie, this teeny weeny little place in northern rural Vermont, is dangerous? Really? Oh yeah. At least for small town standards. Barrie is just southeast of Montpelier and is the slightly larger city of the two. Barrie, or apparently Scary Barrie, as some people call it, has had a rough go of it over the years. Similar to Rutland, Barrie grew off of the granite quarrying industry, as it was once called the granite center of the world. But not no more.
Nope.
These days, it's more so known as the 3rd most dangerous city in Vermont, or if not, it should be. Obviously, the granite industry doesn't employ as many as it used to here.
Gee, you think?
Instead, the leading sectors of the economy here are healthcare, education, and community services. Barrie used to be home to 11,300 or so all the way back in 1930, but since then, it's been a very long but steady and very slow decline, as today the population is around 8,400. The median household income is $65,600 or so per year, but the poverty rate, it's at 17.3%, and the youth poverty rate is 37%. So while the median household income number might be inflated some with some of those nearby government jobs at the state capitol down the road, the poverty rates are through the roof.
Not true. My uncle lives in Barrie and is an attorney that makes 6 figures, so I would know.
On to the crime rates, they say. Okay, on to the crime rates. the violent crime rate is around 650 per 100,000 residents, while the property crime rate is 2,900 per 100,000 residents, in which both are just shy of being double the national rates.
Oh no, time to declare a state of emergency.
Well, next up, we're heading to a place that's known for its organs.
Ooh. Does that mean everybody there is an organ donor? That's so admirable.
Number 2 is Brattleboro.
Even if I told you, you wouldn't believe it.
Brattleboro, more like the second most dangerous city in Vermont, at least when going by the violent crime rates.
People, all this guy did was drive through here. Brattleboro is safe. I live here, so I would know.
Brattleboro is in the far southeastern part of the state along Vermont's border with New Hampshire. Springfield, Massachusetts would be the closest larger city, as it's about an hour drive south. Back in the day, Brattleboro thrived off of manufacturing. Specifically, it was the Estey Organ Company, which manufactured as many as 520,000 organs. And once upon a time, it was known as being the world's largest organ factory. But not no more.
Nope.
The only organs that come out of Brattleboro today are those from organ donors. And if everybody in town volunteered to be one, maybe, just maybe, Brattleboro can go back to being the organ capital of the world.
Wow, bet it took you all night to come up with that one.
I mean, it's going to have to do that because it's definitely not going to be that by manufacturing organs anymore. That's not going to be the case anymore. No, not at all. Well, these days, there is still some manufacturing here, but not much. The economy is more so led by healthcare, education, and tourism. The median household income is just $52,700 per year, or nearly $30,000 per year less than that for all of Vermont, and $50,000 per year less than that for all of nearby Massachusetts and New Hampshire. Additionally, the poverty rate is 21.3%. Despite all of that, over 45% of adults in this town have at least a bachelor's degree or higher, but for whatever reason, there just aren't that many high-paying jobs in town to support that.
Nope.
On to the crime rates, they say. Okay, on to the crime rates. The violent crime rate is around 650 per 100,000 residents, which is just shy of being as high as twice the national rate, but it gets placed above Barrie for the tiebreaker as the property crime rate is well over twice the national average at 4,050 per 100,000 residents. Oh, chill, you'll be fine. Just lock your stuff up and don't drive a car with oversized rims and nobody will target you. Unless they will. Ever hear of Florida Man? How about Brattleboro Man? Does some not so nice things that I don't want to get into too much detail of because, you know, YouTube and all. And there's quite a few headlines like it from the past year, so if you want to look it up some more on your own, you can. So if Brattleboro is so bad, and if Burlington didn't make it as number 1 on this list, where on earth could be the most dangerous place in Vermont? The answer may surprise you. Let's see what's behind door number 1. Number 1 is St. Albans City.
I'm number 1.
You've got to be very careful how you say it. It's not St. Albans, it's St. Albans City. Don't confuse it with the surrounding town, or what most other states would call a township. It's St. Albans City that is the most dangerous place in all of Vermont. St. Albans City is about a 30-minute drive south of the Canadian border and about a 30-minute drive north of Burlington. Despite having less than 7,000 people, St. Albans City is the 7th largest city in all of Vermont, which shouldn't be a surprise really for a state of less than 700,000 people. Among the top employers in the area today would be healthcare, education, and retail services, so not much different than most of the other places on this list. The median household income here is just $58,000 per year, and the poverty rate is 19.5%, with a youth poverty rate that is slightly higher at 23%. The crime rates, however, they're bad. How bad, you ask? Oh, just, the property crime rate, yeah, it's like 7 times higher than the national rate. No big deal. Nothing to worry about there. Oh, and the violent crime rate, yeah, that's pretty bad too, as it's about 3 times the national rate. So yeah, visit for the annual Vermont Maple Festival, stay because you got small town shanked on your way out. So now you have no car, and you're stuck at the motel until your insurance can process your claim and get you a rental car. Honorable mentions for this list includes St. Johnsbury, but not really, because only a few places in Vermont have a noticeably high violent crime rate, in which I've already mentioned them all. There you have it. Those are the 10 most dangerous places to live in Vermont, ranked in order based off of the violent crime rate. Did any of the places on this list surprise you? Did you think that there was going to be some cities that were going to make this list that did not? Let me know what you thought down below. That being said, we'll see you in the next video. Peace.